Hey guys, what's going on, and welcome back to a brand new video. And today we are going to be rebuilding Juventus. I do apologize if my voice sounds different. It sounds high-pitched, low-pitched. I'm really not feeling great, but I need to get this content out for you guys. We always grind through whatever. If you guys do enjoy these rebuilds, then please do leave a like. Be sure to comment on what team you want to see next, and please do subscribe to the YouTube channel. But let's get into this Juventus rebuild. So, one of the first things that you notice when you do actually take on this challenge at Juventus is that on this game, they still are predicted to finish first. I'm only doing this sort of rebuild because obviously at the moment they are in quite a bit of issues in real life. And to be honest, there are a few of their players who probably are coming towards the end of their careers. Like, for example, Bonucci is one of them that really does, stand out to me. So we are going to go into this club, have 5 years with the club, try and sort of change these players around, bring in some younger players, and, just have some fun with it at the end of the day. We're near towards Football Manager 2023. I might let the signings get a little bit out of hand, let them go a bit crazy. Let's just have some fun. So, right from the rip then, the tactic I'm going to be using is going to be RDF's Dezabi tactic, one of my favourites to use at the moment. The players we've got on display are absolutely fantastic already. We've got Szczesny, Cuadrado, Bremer, Bonucci, Sandro, Pogba, Locatelli, Kulusevski, Di Maria, Chiesa and Vlahovic. So a very, very good side. But going into the first transfer window, we have actually been given 16.2 million. So quite a lot of money to spend. And hopefully we can bring in at least one player with that money. Obviously, we can do installments. We can get players in that way. So hopefully we can at least bring in one player to sort of strengthen and just add to the squad. And that is exactly what we've done. We actually turned these signings, obviously, are signings that have already happened. Apart from this last one, I brought him in purely for backup on that right-hand side. That is going to be Dodi Luki Bacco from Hertha Berlin for £17.5 million. So not too expensive. This player, again, isn't going to be anything world-class, but he's a fantastic backup option to have. And to be honest, possibly will play a few games because Di Maria is quite old. So obviously he is going to get, probably injured a little bit easier, not have as great, sort of match fitness, and probably is going to get tired quite a lot in these games. So this guy can come on. His attributes are really good, to be honest with you. His attributes seem a lot better than what his actual ability rating is. 16 pace, 16 acceleration, great finishing, and just a bit of a tricky player. So I'm hoping with this guy into the team, we can go in to the first season and hopefully get some good results. So, the end of the first season then, and to be honest, it was actually quite a success. I'm very happy with how it went. We didn't manage to win the league, but it wasn't to be expected in my opinion. Inter Milan are a very, very strong side on this game and in real life, obviously. But finishing second in the Serie A, I'm winning the Coppa Italia and the Super Cup. So, 2 trophies in the locker and a second place. I'll take that any day in the first season. 93 goals scored, again, very, very good. 23 conceded, quite strong. One area I do want to improve on is the defence a little bit, purely because I feel like we can definitely bring in some younger players in them positions. In terms of player stats then, we're going to have Vlahovic coming in with 42 goals, Di Maria with 20, 11 goals coming in for Milik, obviously a player that we do have on loan at the moment. Actually, is he out on loan? No, he's in on loan. I do forget. Kulusevski was obviously out on loan for part of this as well. We're going to have, in terms of assists, we've got quite a few people coming in with decent amount of assists, to be honest. We've got Chiesa coming in with 9, 8 coming in for Fagoli. We've got 8 coming in for Danilo, Cuadrado with 7 as well. 8 and 8 coming in from Sandro and Paredes, 12 for Kulusevski. We've got 21 for Di Maria and 12 for Vlahovic. So what we're seeing with this is how many different people are getting involved in this and contributing in terms of goals and also assists. In terms of transfer budget, and this is where I have a big smile on my face because we have been given £77 million to spend. 77 million is a ridiculous figure in Football Manager because obviously you can do that installment thing. It's a thing that I love to do because you are able to make so many more signings with your money than just using your transfer budget. And hopefully we can bring in at least a defender is what I'm hoping, but also hopefully we can get a lot more for our money than just the one player. Now, this is where things get interesting, guys, because I have actually had a £253 million transfer window. We do make a couple of sales, though. We sell Danilo to Real Madrid for 29 million and Sandro to Shakhtar for 22 million. Paredes was a signing that they made, not me. Also the same for... No, that is everything on that page. But the signings, sorry guys, I do apologise. The signings that we actually made ourselves is going to be... Now, I said at the start of this episode, this whole point of this is to have fun. It's towards the end of Football Manager. I just want to sign some world-class players and let's just try and build an absolute powerhouse. We actually managed to bring in Cucurella for 80 million, Timber for 58 million, Tomori for 49 million, and Kimpembe for 63 million. The only one I think we somewhat overpaid would be Cucurella, but I've never signed him before, and I really wanted to use him in this side. But obviously, a little bit about these players. Obviously, Paredes, a player which I didn't personally sign. A very good player. Won't get into the first team, but to be honest, definitely a player that I would like to have on the bench, and obviously will start some of the games when the first two players are injured or just tired. Cucurella, obviously, we know a lot about this guy. Going to Chelsea, not exactly lit it up, but I feel like it was quite hard to light up that Chelsea team, because when he was at Brighton, obviously, he was always the star man at left back, which, you know, is quite interesting. But going to Chelsea, I think he is going to be a good signing, but I saw him available and I thought, you know what, let's have some fun, let's get him in. Great attributes for a left back, obviously only 23 years old as well, so he's going to be with us for the entirety of this save. Going over to Timber at the right back position, the thing that I love about this guy, I do sign this guy quite a bit, is the fact that you do have him at right back, you can have him at centre back, or you can have him in midfield. So this guy has got absolutely outrageous potential, and he can play in 3 positions. He is literally what I like to call a manager's dream. Going over to Tomori, a player who I think is massively underrated in real life. Obviously, doing great things in the Serie A. Fair play to him. Not even getting a look into the England team. I mean, he rarely starts. It's something that I really do want to see, because this guy, ignore these stats, I'm on about real life now. This guy does look very good, and it's a shame that he does not get the recognition that I think he personally deserves. But in terms of the actual game, he is also very good. One of the quicker centre-backs you'll find. 15 tackling as well, and he's only 24 years of age, so for me this made perfect sense to bring him in. Going over to Kimpembe, we all know who this guy is. Obviously, question marks about him in real life, whether he's actually sort of, like in the Champions League games, he does sometimes look a little bit slippy. But to be honest, I actually rate this guy, especially in this game. I partnered him alongside of Tomori purely because I think with that, you're going to be getting one sort of centre-back who is absolutely rapid, and then this guy is reasonably quick, but not as quick, but he's, the tackling is there, so they're going to sort of contribute to each other quite well, I think. But this is going to be the team going in, filtering by the best 11. Obviously, Bonucci for now does have his place instead of Kimpembe, but that will probably be just for this season. But I mean, it definitely has strengthened up a lot, that back four especially. Szczesny, Timber, Tomori, Bonucci, Cucurella. Then you've got Pogba, Locatelli, Chiesa, Vlahovic, Kuleveski, and Di Maria, with now Kimpembe dropping to the bench. But a very good back four. A back four which, once Kimpembe's in it, I'm pretty happy with sticking with that back four for the entirety of the save. That was the one area I come in and knew that I wanted to cement right off the bat. Obviously, in the future, we are going to need another goalkeeper. Szczesny is getting on, but for now, that is fine. He's not going to be replaced just yet, and hopefully, this team that you can see here is going to get us, hopefully, to Italian League champions. Unfortunately, that wasn't the scenario. Second season simulator, by the way, guys. And again, we just come up short. We're in the Coppa Italia and the Super Cup again. Not the best in the Champions League, but it was quite a tough draw against Barcelona, finishing second just behind Inter Milan, who are absolutely on fire at the moment. We did score 103 goals, and also now we're ranked the best for conceding. So, to be honest, it's only a matter of time, I personally believe, until we are winning this title. And it's something we need to be doing, because we are spending a fair little bit of change. So hopefully that is something we can do in the next season. In terms of stats, Vlahovic is doing what he always does. Absolute lord of the game. 10 assists, 60 goals. Kuleveski, 10 assists, 12 goals. 11 assists for Timber. 6 assists and 16 goals for Paul Pogba. Any other standouts? We've got 6 assists and 2 goals for Paredes. We've got Pellegrini coming in with 5 assists. 10 assists and 10 goals coming in for Di Maria, a player who obviously is 35, so at some point we are going to have to replace this guy. and he can just sort of drop to the bench. I'm going to keep him until he retires because his value's dropping quite a bit. And to be honest, he has got good attributes. It's just you can't really escape age, can you, if we're being honest. In terms of any other standout stats, we've got 12 assists and 4 goals coming in from Fagoli. They're a player who, do you know what, is actually having a really, really good time at the club so far. And quite a few other people popping up with, you know, sort of Bonucci even with an assist and 4 goals here. Timber, I think I mentioned it, with 11 assists, but it is really good to see these goals. Hang on, we're forgetting players down here, guys. Moise Keane with 4 assists and 8 goals. 9 and 9 coming out of Chiesa. McKennie with 7 assists and 6 goals. And what we're seeing is what I love to see with any tactic. Again, shout out RDF for this tactic. I've not claimed and never will claim to make any tactics that I don't. This is an RDF tactic. If you guys do want to check it out, then do go and check out his channel. It'll be one of the most recent tactics he has uploaded. But honestly, the way that this is playing is really, really good. And I think some of the signings we're making is having a very good impact as well. Obviously, we've had a decent performances coming out of the back four. We can see that purely based off the fact that we're now the best team at conceding goals, only to end in 29. But going into the third transfer window, we have been given a lot of money, and it's dangerous when you give me a lot of money, because I see 104 million and I know instantly that realistically you can easily double that in what you can actually spend, because you can do a lot of installments, as I love to mention. The reason why I mention that a lot as well, guys, is because when I first started playing Football Manager, I didn't even understand that. I literally just thought 104 million, that's all I've got. So when I was with a team and they give me 5 million, I was like, I can't sign anyone. I didn't pay attention to the add-ons. But now, obviously, I've known for ages now that it's an option. I make sure I get the most out of it, because if the club can afford it, why not bring in the players, you know? So let's go and have some fun, get into the third transfer window, and hopefully bring in some more fantastic players. Before we do get into the third transfer window, and trust me, it is a very tasty window, can you guys please be sure to hit the like button on this video, be sure to comment below what team you want to see rebuilt next, and please do subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. If you guys do want to win a free copy of Football Manager 2023, you guys have got 4 more days or 3 more days by the time this is uploaded to enter it. You can see it on my community page. So if you guys do want to enter, make sure you get involved right now. So going into the third transfer window then, guys, it is absolutely brutal. We have spent £370 million. We did decide to sell Paredes to Monaco and Arthur to Lyon for 8.5 and also 24 million, generating £32.5 million of income. But we decided to splash the cash, and do you know what? We just had some fun, guys. We had lots of fun. Why not? Treat yourselves. Jadon Sancho from Manchester United, one of the best youngsters in world football, £150 million. These two were actually agreed deals that I didn't do, but very fond of the players that they have decided to bring in. Phil Foden from Manchester City, again, one of the hottest prospects in world football, 166 million. Now, this is an outrageous transfer window, and to be honest, probably my best transfer window I think I've ever had inside of Football Manager. Now, Jadon Sancho, I mean, what can I say about this guy? Sensation, baller, technical ability, everything. Absolute baller. Love the guy to bits. Fantastic player, obviously. He is going to cost a lot, but he's worth pretty much double what we paid for him. I just love the way he plays. He's not necessarily the quickest player, but he is very nimble on the ball. He'll cause a lot of issues. He's very skillful, a very tricky player. And this guy, I mean, his dribbling is pretty much perfect. This guy will definitely be starting on that left-hand side throughout the entire save. So spending the money now might seem like a lot, but you've got a player here for easily sort of 8 to 9 years minimum. Going over to Locatelli, a player which I'm pretty sure we all know, very defensively solid centre midfield player, one of the best you can probably get in this game. Attributes are really well rounded. I'm very fond of this player as well. Only 25 years old, so again, you're going to get a player here for 6 to 7 years before you possibly see any sort of decline. Going over to Moise Keane, again, the perfect backup striker in my opinion. I do apologise, guys, the voice is absolutely killing. But this guy, again, he's not exactly a world-class striker, I will give you that. But when you've got Vlahovic, you don't really want to have two. You don't want 2 Vlahovic's if you're only playing one up top, because one will be unhappy. They'll sort of balance. They'll pretty much bat each other, you know. They'll just they'll collide. They're not going to get on. So what I like to do is I like to have one world-class player, which is going to be Vlahovic. Obviously, Moise Kean, again, is a fantastic player, but he isn't going to be, you know, on the same level as Vlahovic. He can come on possibly when Vlahovic is tired, when he's injured. He can play the cup games, and he still will do a great job. 16 finishing, 16 pace, 17 acceleration, and he's only 23 years of age. So as long as he's happy to sort of be that second fiddle, which he seems to be fine with, he's not complained once, then this is going to be a perfect recipe, in my opinion. And then we're going to go over to the last signing, and a player which I didn't actually plan to sign, apart from the fact of when I got scouted him, and I thought, do you know what? Let's go in for Phil Foden. Him and Sancho in the same team is going to be absolutely disgusting. And do you know what? This guy, again, absolutely fantastic player, 23 years of age. Again, very similar to Sancho in terms of great with the ball, great on the ball, very nimble, great at dribbling. Just everything about him. Obviously, this guy as well can play more centrally, which, to be honest, he is going to be playing. Obviously, he's not going to be playing on this left-hand side like he does in the Manchester City team. He is going to be playing in this centralised area with Kulusevski dropping to the bench, because this guy, you can't really not play because he is honestly incredible. And this is the way that the team looks now. Again, it's absolutely nuts now. You've got Szczesny, Timber, Tomori, Kimpembe, Cucurella, Pogba, Locatelli, Foden, Chiesa, Sancho, and Vlahovic. An absolute world-beating side. Obviously, Kimpembe does come in now to replace Bonucci, purely because of his age, to be honest. It's not exactly that he was playing bad. As you can see here, him up here, you got Bonucci, McKennie, Moise Kean, Bremer, Cuadrado, Kulusevski, Pellegrini, Rabiot, Milik, Descriglio, Di Maria. We've got Luki Bacco on the bench as well. We've got Zakaria as well, Kostic. We have got a very strong team. And I think the next window, we possibly might have to say goodbye to some of these players, because some of them can't even be registered. That's how many good players we have. So let's get into what is going to be the third season, and hopefully we can come up with some results. And hopefully now, with the addition of Sancho and Foden, we can win the league. And that is what we've done. It's a mixture of emotions, though, this season, the third season, because we did win the Serie A, which obviously was the main aim, and we thumped the Serie A big time. Absolutely dominated it this time. I mean, 101 points to second place is 84. But this was the season of bottling for us as well. We were runners-up in the Champions League, runners-up in the Coppa Italia, and runners-up in the Super Cup. 3 results go a different way there. We're quadruple winning. You know, as simple as that. So that is always quite annoying to see. 109 goals scored, ranking us the best, and 25 conceded. Still somehow not the best in that, with, you know, ranking us the second. With that little amount of goals scored, whoever finished first must have had one hell of a defensive season. Going into the stats then, we're going to have 2 assists coming in from Regani. Vlahovic again, this guy does not slow down. 6 assists and 61 goals. Phil Foden, one of the best performances you're probably going to see from a debutant in this league. 35 assists and 13 goals. 1 assist and 10 goals coming in for Bremer. You're going to have 9 assists coming in for Timber. You're going to have 5 assists and 3 goals coming in for Pogba. Locatelli with an assist and 5 goals. Who else stands out here? 10 assists and a goal coming in for Cucurella. 3 assists and 3 goals coming in for Di Maria. Jadon Sancho, again, very good attributes. I'm not as good as Phil Foden, but obviously Foden does play a little bit more centralised, so the assists do come a little bit easier. Jadon Sancho with 21 assists and 11 goals. Still a very good first season for him. Down here, we're going to have 6 goals coming in for Luki Bacco off the bench, I imagine, majority of them games. That's actually Kimpembe, not Luki Bacco. Do apologise about that. You got 3 assists and 2 goals for McKennie. Chiesa again, dropping some decent stats, but obviously he does have competition on that position now. Because one thing I forgot to mention is obviously we've got Phil Foden, who can play on the wing. We've got Sancho that can play on both wings. We've got Kulusevski that can play on both wings and attack and playmaker. We've then got Chiesa who can play on both wings. We've got Luki Bacco as well. We've got so many attacking options that these players are fighting for the first team always. So it is a struggle for them, but it brings out the best in everyone. It really does. And going into what is going to be the 4th transfer window, nearly forgot what I was going to say then. We are going to have £65 million to spend. So still a lot of money to spend, and definitely a reasonable chunk and enough for us to improve the team. So hopefully we can go into this 4th transfer window and bring in another star player. That is exactly what we've done, guys. As I mentioned earlier, it is going to be only a matter of time until we do need to sell Chesney, and that is what we've done. We sold Chesney to Shakhtar for 17.2 million, and we bring in Justin Bilal from Feyenoord for 33 million pounds, and also Camavinga from Real Madrid for 64 million. Now, the goalkeeper was a must-needed signing. He has got room to grow. Granted, there probably are better goalkeepers out there, but it is very difficult to sign goalkeepers on this game that are quite young. I'm going to be honest. I couldn't go after Ramsdale. Donnarumma is practically untouchable with PSG, and this guy does look quite good, and also he is still quite young for a goalkeeper. So definitely got enough sort of, you know, attributes to be in the first team and can grow and definitely dominate that first team position. And this guy here was a sort of shot in the dark side, and obviously a world-class player. We know who he is, but I didn't necessarily plan to get a player to not replace Pogba, but Pogba's obviously getting into his 30s now. I always like to have a player that is very similar to a player that has been working well, and in my opinion, Camavinga reminds me a little bit of Pogba. They've got very similar attributes. Pogba's are slightly better in the game, but I just think it is a very good player to have. He can play the Carrillo role very, very comfortably as well, which is exactly what Pogba's been playing. So that is why I needed this guy in the team. And for 64 million, I don't actually think that's a bad price at all. And this is going to be what the team looks like now. So it is pretty much going to be exactly the same. Vlahovic, Sancho, Foden, Chiesa, Pogba, Locatelli, Cucurella, Kimpembe, Tomori, Timber, but now we've got Bilal in goal. How beautiful do these green links look? Green link from Timber to Chiesa, Tomori to Kimpembe, Cucurella to Sancho, Pogba to Locatelli, Foden to Vlahovic. It's honestly what you want to be seeing. Absolutely beautiful scenes, and hopefully we can get into this fourth season now with the addition of Camavinga and Bilal, and hopefully win the Serie A again. That is what we've done, guys, but we actually done better than that, because we are now Champions League winners against Manchester City. We're also Super Cup winners, so that is a treble winning season, and two of the biggest trophies obviously being the Serie A title and also the Champions League, as I mentioned. Vlahovic having another fantastic season, a very, very defensively solid season from us, only conceding 8, and I think that must be a big part. A lot of credit goes to the goalkeeper there. 105 goals scored again, which is very, very high. In terms of the squad stats then, now we know we've been defensively solid, but we can't obviously see how many saves unless we go right into the player. But in my opinion, the goalkeeper must be part of the reason to why we're doing so much better defensively, because we've always been defensively solid, but it's always been about that 20 goal mark, 23 goal mark. We bring in a new goalkeeper and it drops down to 8. So that must have had quite a good impact. But in terms of attacking stats then, 9 assists and 59 goals for Vlahovic. We've got 24 assists and 10 goals for Phil Foden. We've got 10 assists coming in for Timber, 10 for Cucurella. Lovely to see the fullbacks getting involved there. We're going to have 11 assists and 15 goals coming in for Jadon Sancho. Locatelli with 6 assists and 3 goals. 1 assist and 5 goals coming in for Paul Pogba. He is quieting down quite a bit in that midfield now. Obviously, he has got competition in that midfield as well. We've got Chiesa still contributing quite well with 10 assists and 16 goals. But what I'm liking to see now is obviously, if you just have a little browse down this, down this little page here, you can see the players that we've got in this side. There are so many players that are competing against each other to get into this team, and we are getting the best out of everyone. We're getting players like, well, Vlahovic is pretty much untouchable. He is scoring a ridiculous amount of goals and also picking up some assists as well. So this guy is pretty much Mr. Do-It-All. Phil Foden and Sancho having great seasons since they've come here. Foden probably doing a little bit better, to be honest. But to be honest, I mean, I am ridiculous. I've just realised how many times I said to be honest. I do apologise. Someone pointed that out in one of my old videos. I do apologise about that. But again, we're seeing very clear how Justin Bilal has come in. Actually, only, I believe that he's conceded 18 goals. I believe that's what it is. Is that what it is? Do let me know, guys, in the comments. I believe that's what it is. I do apologise. My head's really all over the place at the minute. I'm feeling pretty grim. But I thought I'd get this rebuild done because, to be honest, I've been wanting to do this rebuild. Juventus are a team which, technically don't need one in terms of what Football Manager thinks, because they are predicted to finish first. The money is there, but in real life, they're really struggling big time. And you know what? I thought, let's just try and save them. Let's try and save the Juventus fans, and let's get them some trophies. Going into the last season, we have been given a very generous budget of £60 million. The wage budget is absolutely ridiculous as well. Now, with this money, we are going to try and bring in another midfield player. I know you say midfield players. Why? Why are you signing so many midfield players? It's because we are also going to try and offload a few players we don't use. And it would be nice to have a player that is comfortable playing just central midfield, is in just the role, central midfield. Obviously, where Locatelli's playing, because the other players we've got that isn't their predominant position. So hopefully we can pick up a player where that is his preferred position, and then Locatelli can have a sort of, a player to sort of compete against and, just help him out, because at the end of the day, Locatelli's having to play pretty much every game. Well, fifth transfer window come upon us, and I have done potentially some of the best business on the free I've ever seen. I was going through the expired players. There were quite a few. I was trying to get Luke Shaw in on the free. That didn't happen. But Bernardo Silva, I've managed to get on the free, which is an absolute steal. He is old. I will say that. He is quite old on this save now. But still, a free Bernardo Silva, who will probably get into the team, to be honest. I am taking him any day. A few players do go out on the free there as well. We do spend big on Ryan Gravenberch purely because he is the last piece of the puzzle. He is the player that can play central midfield, that can replace and compete with Locatelli, and I just think it makes that midfield turn from, world class to literally, what's the level up from world class? Like world beaten? I don't know what the word is, but him in midfield is an absolute dream. Obviously, we all know Bernardo Silva, in my opinion, one of the best players to actually play football in the Premier League. I really love how he plays. I think he plays such a unique way. The way he moves with the ball is something like you rarely see. It's a very unique way of moving the ball that he does it with. Fantastic on the ball. And I know he's 30 years old, guys, but he's worth so much compared to what we paid nothing. He's worth a ridiculous amount of money. He's obviously still got 4.5-star ability. 30 isn't too old to, be willing to pay the wage on him. So I thought we'll get him in. He can probably play for a couple of seasons in the first team. And then possibly even after that, just drop to the bench when he starts to decline. And then Ryan Gravenberch, a player who is only 23, obviously going to Bayern Munich in real life. We've now had 4 complete seasons to see how he develops. And trust me, this guy has turned into an absolute baller. As we can see, he can pretty much do it all. 6'3", reasonably quick in midfield as well. A star player, obviously the agreed playing time. 23 years old, 4.5-star ability, so should get into the team right from the rip. And believe it or not, this guy was actually a bit of a steal because he's worth double to what we paid them. And this is going to be the team. This is, in my opinion, this is a dream. This is a dream team. You're going to have Bilal, Timber, Tamori, Kimpembe, Cucurella, Gravenberch, Locatelli, Chiesa, Silva, Sancho, Vlahovic on the bench. You've got Perrin, Bremer, Foden, Kuleveski, Pellegrini, McKennie, Milik, Descriglio, Paul Pogba, Moise Kean, Zakaria, Rabiot, Luke Bacchio, Regani, obviously a player which I haven't even really mentioned, Camavinga, who will be on the bench, not on reserves, Fagoli. So many fantastic players all playing for Juventus. That is one thing you love to see. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Juventus. I'm not against them, but I'm not like an advocate. I don't go out and watch all their games, but it's not nice to see a top team go through a dark spell. Very similar to obviously what has happened and happening technically still to Barcelona. So it is nice to do a rebuild and make sure, they get back on their feet. And obviously, I know this rebuild has gone a little bit out of hand in some transfer windows, but it is getting towards the end of Football Manager 2022, sorry. And I do just want to have some fun. Don't get me wrong, the next Football Manager that comes out, we are going to be doing tons of rebuilds, and we're going to be doing sort of an unrealistic version and a realistic version. But it's about having fun at the end of the day, guys. So I do understand if some of you guys don't like seeing these signings being made, but at the end of the day, if you can make them, make the signings is what I say. But let's get into the last season of this save, which is going to be the 5th season, and hopefully we can prove that money does buy you trophies. Well, the famous quote of money buys you trophies has come out and has prevailed here, because we actually have managed to win 4. Unfortunately, we did slip out on the Serie A title this year somehow, but we've won the Champions League, the Super Cup, the Coppa Italia, and also the PS5 Super Cup. 101 goals scored, 17 conceded, so absolutely dominant stuff coming out of us there. In terms of squad stats, you've got Vlahovic coming in with 12 assists and 68 goals, 7 assists and 15 goals coming in for Chiesa, 24 assists and 13 goals coming in for Bernardo Silva, Sancho coming in with 12 assists and 11 goals, 17 assists and 10 goals for Phil Foden. A few players here dropping, like quite a few actually, 7 here for Kuleveski, 6 for Kimpembe, 5 for Moise Kean, 5 for Gravenberch, 5 for, is that Bremer? But no, for Tamori, 5 for Bremer as well. Down here, we've got 15 assists coming in for Cucurella. So one thing which we have got to quickly gas up the fullbacks, because they have been really good at providing assists going forward, and they have definitely made it a lot easier for us to be, you know, I'm pretty sure we've finished, possibly apart from the first season, we have finished top goal scorers in every single season. So one thing we love to do towards the end of these videos are we go over and see what we've done inside of 5 years, and we've definitely made the team better, I will say that. But in terms of trophies then, 2022 we were the Super Cup winners, the Coppa Italia winners, 2023 season PS5 Super Cup winners, Coppa Italia winners. We've done a lot of these Super Cups, we really did. 2024 season PS5 Super Cup, Serie A champions, runners-up in the Coppa Italia, and also the Champions League runners-up. That was a season of the unfortunate Botland. 2025 PS5 Super Cup winners, Serie A champions, Champions League winners, UEFA Super Cup winners. That was the main season. And the last year, PS5 Super Cup winners, Coppa Italia winners, and also Champions League winners. So we have won this club a lot of trophies inside of 5 seasons. And do you know what? I'm very happy with how this rebuild has gone. I'm going to rate it a solid 8 out of 10. The only situations I think would have been nice to do is change them, you know, final positions into winners instead of runners up. But overall, very happy with how this rebuild has gone. Brought in some absolutely sensational players. And do you know what? I genuinely think this could be one of the best rebuilds I've probably done. Definitely the most funnest I think I've ever had. Just sort of, you know, having no restrictions, just letting myself sign whoever I want to sign, really. But that is going to be it for me today, guys. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I do apologise. Honestly, I do apologise about this voice. I don't know what has caused it. I haven't got COVID, nothing like that. Just literally, it is absolutely done at the moment, so I do apologise. I know it probably sounded very weird for me going like normal to high pitch to low pitch to croaky, so I do apologise about that. But I do always do my best to push out this content for you guys, because I want to keep you guys entertained. I don't like seeing my channel go without a video uploaded, you know, for 2 days or more. I do my best to try and upload daily when I can. But if you guys do enjoy, you know, the videos that do come out onto this channel, please do smash the like button. It really does mean a lot. And please do subscribe to the channel as well. But that is going to be it for me today, guys. And I will see you in the next one.